Let's create the 3 most useful shortcut keys in AutoCAD architecture, according to me. Um, on the screen, I have them listed. So we're going to create a Control I, Control H, and a Control U. These you'll see are mapped out as isolate objects, hide objects, and unisolate objects. Type in CUI. That's for Customize User Interface. When you get this window open, you may have to do a few little tweaks here on these arrows to expand this and pull this down up here, so you'll see the 3 panes that I have on my screen here. If you are working in a firm that has some customization done, you might see a second menu here, which is what I have called the power strip. It will be listed as an enterprise menu, and it would be in read-only mode. That just occurs automatically when you run a secondary menu. This is where you would normally do the kind of customization that I'm about to demonstrate, and I have in fact done that customization to my custom menu, so you're going to see the redundancy. But if you don't have this menu, don't worry. If you don't have the skill set, expertise, whatever, to create that, don't worry about it. What we're going to do is very minimal, and it won't impact your stock menu by much. We're going to add 3 commands, and we're going to delete 1. It's nothing major. But if you do have the skills, by all means, create a separate menu and manage your customization through that, so you can leave the default one stock. So what we'll look for here in that list is keyboard shortcuts. And then we'll see that there's 2. There's temporary, and then there's shortcut keys. We're going to work in the shortcut keys. We're going to make these a permanent part of your user interface. Below down here under the command list, you can go through all the commands in the product that are available for, let's say, menu driven or whatever. You have icons and so forth. The commands we're looking for are in this list. They're just hard to find. So what we'll do is we'll start with the first one, which is isolate objects. So in the little list, type in isolate, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to finish typing it all in. And you're going to notice on my screen, mine will look a little different than yours because I have this enterprise menu called Power Strip. So just ignore that on your setup. But you will notice that there's 2 isolate objects under the source of AutoCAD architecture. So here's the first one, and we'll just read it over in the right pane. So you can see it does that on the macro line here in that field. It does Control-C, which is cancel. Caret-C is the keystroke. Underscore, and then it types out isolate objects. So that's what would occur on the command line. This is correct. What's the other one do? Let's go down and find this other one. It is the exact same thing. There's 2 of them in here, and the only difference is you'll notice that the images are different, and it says something on the description field that's a little bit different. I don't care which one you pick. It's not going to make any difference. As long as that macro line is the same, that's what counts. So grab one and drag it all the way up to where it says shortcut keys. Look for that little blue triangle and just drop it on top. Now, if you want to place it in the list, that's fine, but I'm just going to drop it right on top here, like that. And it automatically now becomes a shortcut key, sort of. It's not quite done, but it brings it over. And then what we see is all that information came over with one new line. It says keys. So here what we're going to do, now you have the option to click on the ellipsis button. If I do that, it's going to ask me to strike the keys on my keyboard that I want to use. For example, I want to use Control-I. And it took it, so that's good. It shouldn't really have done it because it's already in my menu, but it's not on this list in the AutoCAD menu, so it's okay with that. So that's good. If it doesn't do that, I'll show you on the next one if it comes up and gives you a little error message because it already exists. But this one worked out, so Control-I is good. Oh, here we go. Here's the message. Yeah. All right, but it still took it, so that's good. And see any of these red X's, that means that you're doing some redundant work, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But right now, Control+I is exactly what we want, so that one is ready to go. So we'll do the next one. We'll go on the list. So we'll look at my screen here. The next one is hide objects, and the command is actually hide objects. So we'll come in here, wipe that out, and we'll type in hide. Okay, we need a little bit more. Oh, there we go. And again, there's two of them. I'm just going to grab this one, but I'll read it first to make sure this is the right one. Hide objects, yes, and I will drag that up here and stick it on there. All right, and then for the keys, now in this one, suppose you are having some error message and it says you can't do it or whatever. Try just doing this. Type in, I'm going to do it with caps on just because that's how it does it. CTRL, that stands for control, then the plus, and then H. So I can override that little ellipsis feature and just define it myself what I want it to be. And it's already giving me the error message, and I'll explain that in a minute. Well, let's go back and get the last one. So the last one on my list here is end object isolation is the definition, but it really is, the command is unisolate, so a little bit confusing. But in the list here, we want to type in end object, and I'm just going to find it by typing in end O. And here it is, and I'm going to drag that up right here. Boom. And then over here under the keys, I'm going to type in CTRL plus, and what was the, oh, it's the command I wanted for that is Control U. So CTRL plus U. And then we'll do an apply. Okay, so they're all three are in there. But let's talk about this little list up here before we jump out and test this. You're going to see that I have some error messages essentially, right? These basically it's telling you that that won't work. This one is deactivated in essence. And that's because I do have these redundancies now between my enterprise menu, but there is one that you're going to see, and that is the Control H one. So if I go down here to this one, this is the first Control H you're probably going to see in the list, and you will need to look for this one before you move on. And it should technically be in red, but it's doing the other one in red probably down here, or is it up here? Somewhere it should not be happy with the other, well, it's not called Control H, but hide objects, well, it doesn't matter. Let's just focus on this right now. So the default shortcut key in the AutoCAD architecture menu, this Control H, is for pick style. And that is a toggle that you can use when you're working in AutoCAD for selecting objects. What it does is it toggles between 0 and 1. If you have it at 0, I think it selects groups. If you have it at 1, it doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's basically if you use the group set and command in AutoCAD or AutoCAD architecture, it's allowing you to toggle between selecting and unselecting. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then you don't use it. You don't use groups. I don't use groups, don't need them. So we're going to go ahead and right-click and delete that one out of here. So that's the only change, major change that you're doing to your stock setup. If you're worried about this, then don't use Control H. Use a different keyboard combination for your object hide. But I'm going to go ahead and delete it. All right, so now in the list up here, I'm going to do, I still see this one here, but don't worry about that. Let's do an apply. Okay, and then come back, because that's when it really has done all of the checking. So we'll go back, and then we'll go to the shortcut keys here and select in there, and then we'll just pull this down a little bit so we can see some more. Okay, so I should have 3 of those in there. Yep, that's correct. Notice each of the 3 say power strip. That's because they reside in my custom enterprise menu. But you probably don't have one, so you should be all good. If you do see any of these error messages, one of these X's in there, make sure you don't have redundant keystrokes. Now, what it really means, if you're worried about it, what it just means is this one's not going to be active. I'm doing these keystrokes, shortcut keys, in the primary menu that gets loaded first, and they will override any subsequent shortcut keys. So even though they're listed here with an X, it's just saying those aren't going to be working. Those are not going to be active. So we're looking good here. I'm going to go ahead and do an OK. So that's all written to your menu system now. Let's go to another file and test this stuff. So I should have the option to do a Control I, which is isolate. So if I select, let's go down here and just, oh, I know a good one to select. We'll go over here. And we'll go down and we'll just grab this DWA, enter. All right, so that isolated the DWA from everything else. All right, to bring it back, I should be able to do a Control U. And everything is coming back. To remove something, well, we can do the same thing. I don't want to see this DWA. I can now do a Control H. And what it's leaving is the glass inside, because that's a highly custom DWH. So maybe that wasn't the best example. Let's go find something else to get rid of. Is this, this is a whole window over here. All right, I'll do a Control H on that. All right, so that's gone. I can Control H anything. So these are XREFs. These are constructs brought in. So I can just Control H a whole XREF. And I can take the framing. I can just keep going. I'll grab all this stuff, Control H. And you can see it's just you know, being hidden. Then Control U will bring it all back. All right, that tests it and proves that it's working good. So hopefully it's doing the same for you. And hopefully you find these 3 keystrokes the most useful ones in your whole collection. And I'm out.